Yesterday in class, we worked on solving multi-step equations with combining like terms. We're going to go ahead and add an additional step for today. So you can just continue your notes from yesterday, 2-3, solving multi-step equations. Kiss your parentheses goodbye. That is the objective. We're going to remove the parentheses by using the distributive property. And the overall objective when we are solving a multi-step equation is to isolate the variable and get it on one side using inverse steps. So the new step for today is to clear the equation of parentheses. And we're going to do that by using the distributive property. The asterisk is a hint or a reminder. A negative in front, you need to plug in a 1. So we talk about that invisible coefficient of 1. Step number 2, which we worked on yesterday, we're going to combine like terms. Key piece, they must be located on the same side of the equation. And that is why we put that line down the equal sign to show the left and right side. And then step 3, we are following the two-step equation rules where we do a plus minus. We call that the opposite. And then we do the multiplication or the division. And we were using the reciprocal, specifically in the placemat activity where you had fractions as coefficients. If at any time you need to pause the video, you can pause that to work on your notes. We're going to do a couple of examples together. Make sure you are doing these with me and then attaching a photo to this assignment. So example number 1, what we were doing yesterday, we can see on the left side of the equation, we need to simplify that. Over here on the right, I did a shorthand of the notes. You distribute, you clear parentheses, you combine like terms on the same side, you use an opposite, and then a reciprocal. So here on the left, we have a negative 5x and a negative x. We combine that and get negative 6x. Same signs, add and keep. I owe $5, I owe $1, I owe 6 in all. Plus 2, that term comes down, equals negative 10. We now have a two-step equation. I circle the term with the variable. I get rid of the term that's not attached. I do the opposite first, minus 2. I'm then going to write a new equation, negative 6x. This cancels out, it makes 0. I owe 10. I take away another 2, so I owe 12. And then on our final step, remember we want our x to be positive, so I need a 1x. So I use the sign because a negative divided by a negative is a positive, and we have x equals 2. We can go ahead and do a check and plug in. Negative 5 times 2 would be negative 10, plus 2 minus x, and x is 2, equals negative 10. 2 minus 2 makes 0, and we're left with negative 10 equals negative 10, and it checks out. For example number 2, on the left side of the equation, you can see that there is a negative. So I'm going to plug in a negative 1, and I'm going to distribute and give that out. I cannot do the inside of the parentheses because they're not like terms. You can't do x minus 9. So we're going to multiply negative 1 times x, negative 1x. And then here, be careful. It's a negative 1 times a negative 9. A negative times a negative is a positive. And then we have 8 minus 12. These are like terms on the same side of the equation. I combine them and I get -4. I have now simplified it to a two-step equation. I get rid of my term first. I did an opposite, so I subtracted 9. -1x equals -4 minus 9, same signs add and keep. I'm at -4. I'm going back 9, so I'm going to the left. So that's why you're adding and getting that -13. And our final step to get rid of our coefficient, I need to use the sign. I need to divide by a negative to make a positive. So I divide by -1. X equals 13. Check. I'm going to plug that in. So -1, x is 13 minus 9. We already know that 8 minus 12 was -4. Forgot my equal sign there. -1, I now can actually do my parentheses and not use the distributive property because 13 minus 9 would be 4. And -1 times 4 makes -4, so it checks out. Moving along to our last two examples. Example 3. We have -2 times the quantity x minus 4 equals 12. We're going to put a line down the equal sign. And I'm going to distribute -2x. And again, careful of signs, -2 times -4, +8. And now we have a two-step equation. I'm going to get rid of the term that's not attached, subtract 8. Write a new equation, -2x equals 4. And divide by a negative so that we get a positive x. And I'm using that number. A -2 divided by -2 is +1, which gives us 1x or just x. 4 divided by -2 would be -2. And if we do our check, -2 times x minus 4, so -2 minus 4 equals 12. You could distribute, but I'm going to go ahead and combine the parentheses since they're like terms. -2 minus 4 is -6. I just feel like it's easier. I use the distributive property when you can't combine what's inside the parentheses. -2 times -6 is 12. And this checks out. For our last example, we're putting it all together, all the steps. So we're going to distribute to clear our parentheses. -3 times x, -3x, -3 times -1, +3, plus 9 comes down, equals 15. And now we can simplify the right side of the equation. We have +3 and +9. They are like terms on the same side. So we can write a new equation. 15 equals -3x plus 12. And we are left with our two-step equation. Get rid of the term that's not attached to the letter, -12. Notice my inverse step is coming from the right side because that's where our letter is. Write a new equation. Opposites cancel out and make 0. -3x equals 3. Divide. Opposite of multiplication, use the sign. Divide by -3. and you would get x equals -1. Sorry about that message. I guess I need to really upgrade this Cami. Hopefully I can get that. So get these problems in your notes and please submit a photo for your assignment for Asynchronous Wednesday. And tomorrow we will go ahead and go over this topic. Have a good day. And also, please make sure you are working on your makeup work and reaching out to me if you need individual one-on-one help.